Yate, this is Navajo Grandma, and guess what? I always say that, don't I? Well, Grandma's in her Christmas jammies, and I'm going to tell you a story that's true. And it is called A Christmas Miracle, okay? And today is Christmas Eve, and Grandma didn't even know this and scared the beans. I thought Christmas was on Sunday, so when you get old, all of a sudden time just flies. So anyways, A Christmas Miracle. This is a true story, all right? Want to make sure you remember that. And I'm going to start off with, okay, this is an intro. Grandma was a single mother of 7 children. And all the sketches you are going to see depict kind of what Grandma went through on Christmas Eve. All right. It was heartbreaking. It was hard because I wasn't like and my children hate this, and I'm going to say it. We had zero child support. The churches wouldn't help us because why? I had too many children. So it was pretty dim, pretty sad, and I hadn't gone back to school yet. Remember, everything was just like, it was just up in the air, and here it was Christmas, and I didn't have anything. We hardly had anything, and I think I had just a little bit of flour, and it was just sad. It was a horrible time. Now, don't start bawling and feeling sorry, okay? Because there is a good outcome. So, Grandma's been sketching she's been very busy, and I'm going to show you these pictures a lot more clear. I want you to look at this. This is a picture depicting my 7 children and my eldest daughter here. This is Ku'ule. This is Haruko, and Kamalani, and Keaka, and little Yukiko-chan, and Kaleo, and Quinny. So we had no money, and there was no tree. And I'm sure everyone has done this, but I only had like probably 2 strands of Christmas lights. And so Grandma's very creative. So anyways, we taped all of the Christmas lights into the shape of a Christmas tree. And my eldest daughter made the Christmas star, beautiful. And we plugged it in, and lo and behold, we had a Christmas tree on the wall. And my little ones were all excited. We sang Christmas songs, and they were just, their eyes, if you see, look how big and buggy their eyes are. They were so excited. Their eyes were just big. Santa was coming, and we had nothing. And I didn't want to say that. And if I cry in this whole mess, you'll know. But anyway, so my children are eagerly sitting against a wall, singing Christmas songs, looking forward to Santa Claus. Okay, that's Christmas Eve. Then, Grandma, I'm going to show this to you. I was so sad. I cried. And I didn't have the nerve to tell my children I had nothing. I think they have always known we had nothing, but they were still happy, little ones. And I quietly choked up, and I cried, wiped my tears, and my children were so excited that they actually jumped in bed themselves. They were so obedient because they wanted to go to bed quick so that Santa would be there. And again, Grandma just had a hard time, and I just cried by myself, kind of looking away. And my little ones here, this is just a picture of one. And they jumped into bed. They fell fast asleep as quick as they could. And Grandma just held them and thought about them and how much faith they had. It was not easy. So they're all hopped in bed. They all have their covers. Grandma's hugged all of them and looking at them just fast asleep. They're so willing to go to bed, which is not normal. And because of Santa too. So here is another picture that Grandma sketched. And here is Grandma at, if you look at the time, from the time my children went to sleep, probably around 9 o'clock or 8:30, they were fast asleep. And till 2 o'clock, Grandma was on her knees praying. And I prayed with all my heart. And I pleaded with God that I could help my children, that there are miracles. And I did recite miracles like, okay, Noah, I thought of Moses, I thought of all the miracles you could think of. And so I recited to God all the miracles on the earth, and that the miracles I needed, the miracle I needed was for my children. And so Grandma is here in full faith. And so I remained on my knees for hours. Then, if you look at this picture, Grandma, after I finished my prayer, into the night, or into the morning, I just kind of looked outside my bedroom window, and I looked at the snowman that we had made, and the snowballs we had a snowball fight with, and I just looked out the window, and there's a road here, there's a sidewalk on the other side, and I just kept thinking to myself, and I was crying, okay, and I kept praying. So as I'm looking out the window, here is a sketch of Grandma. I look to the left, and remember there's a road and there's the snow is all piled up on the road, and I saw something and I was crying, and I looked and I thought, wait a minute, it is 5 minutes after 4, and notice I'm right up to the window, and I was frosting, and it was getting cold, and my breathing made all the frost start to build up, and I had to wipe the frost off, and I'm seeing this person. I don't know if it's a person, but I see some movement way down to the left of me. And so Grandma was like, goodness, who on earth? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Who on earth in their right mind would be out there? It was freezing cold. So Grandma continued, and there's that little, I don't know what it was. I just kept looking, and Grandma moved from over here to the middle, and I'm looking at this figure, and I'm thinking 4 o'clock in the morning, and the frost, notice, and now it's starting to build up on the windows. So this is the phases I went through, okay, because I'm watching the thing or the movement, and in the beginning, as you can see here, and you'll be able to see this, I will show you a close-up. in the beginning, here is, I mean, I'm starting to see this movement. And my eyes are open. And again, it was my tears. And then the window is frosting more. And all of a sudden, my eyelids are starting to droop. And I'm like kind of trying to keep them open. And then the figure starts to get a form. And it's starting to come up the way, almost to kind of all the way, almost across from me. And I'm intently getting back up to the window and having to clean the window. And I'm just like, I'm thinking, who? Then when I actually saw the figure and it was a person pulling something, I noticed my eyes started, I was barely trying to, it was like I couldn't keep them open, and I kept going like this, trying to get my eyes open and to look, and then I had to wipe the windows, and even then the windows frosted even more. And this is what I say. I believe somebody did not want me to see, because I'm not a sleeper. I would have, my eyeballs usually are wide open. And this, look at this, I can't even see. And my eyes are just like drooping, and I can't even, then out of the clear blue, I am out cold. I don't remember one thing. I don't remember, look at this. I don't remember that I got in bed. I was fast asleep, and I don't remember anything. All I know is my eyeballs were all swollen. I could feel them. And then, what do I wake up to? My second to the youngest son, Kiaka, is jumping on my bed, and look at Grandma. And I look distraught. I mean, what else would you think? And he is jumping up and down saying, Mom, hey, I got everything I wanted. I got everything. Santa came. I thought, oh my goodness, my children, they have lost it. They're delirious. My children, they've lost it. And I just lay there thinking, oh my gosh, how do I tell them? Santa didn't come, and I was just beside myself. And my Kiaka is jumping up and down telling me, Mom, come out. He was here. Remember, I had nothing. And my little son tells me his joy is just jumping and driving me crazy. And finally, my other son, Kaleo, comes into the room and he says, Mom, Kiaka's right. Come, get up. So they pulled me out of bed. And I was kind of hesitant, but now my other son came in, and I figured maybe there's some truth to it, for as much praying as I did, and I didn't know, I went with them. And they led me into the living room, and here is my sketch. This doesn't even, this isn't even a third of what was out there. There was a big fat tree already decorated. And the door, it was kind of like somebody stuck it in the door. They tried to get it through the door, or I was thinking maybe my kids woke up and Santa had it and was dragging it in and he left, in my mind. After seeing all this, you might as well just believe that there is a Santa. And here's the tree. There are piles of presents everywhere. There was a bike and other bikes. There was all kinds of things, and here is an old antique mirror that I have that says Merry Christmas, Santa. And it was almost like it was written in white chalk. I don't know. But anyways, and I just thought, yeah, right. Well, yeah, I couldn't even say yeah, right, but I shouldn't have said that. So all of these, I mean, you're thinking, and I'm thinking, who on earth? We have a deadbolt on the door. Everything is locked. The windows are locked. I'm telling you, when you're a mother bear, you make sure the cave is locked up when you have children. So then my son, Kiaka, and Kaleo. Kiaka was just, he's just a little, I love him. I love that little kiddo. He was jumping up and down saying, Mom, you got to open your presents. And I thought, good grief, I got presents. I mean, might as well. I mean, there was all kinds of presents here. And he dove into this big box that was bigger than him. And he had to kind of crawl down there. He's swimming in there. And finally, he brought me an envelope. And actually, he brought me some other gifts first. And I opened them. And they were everything I needed. You couldn't have asked for. It was like somebody had read my mind. And I had everything I needed, everything I wanted. And it was just, again, you know, the words that we use are unbelievable. And I opened my gifts, and my sons, my kids were just dancing around me saying, Mom, you cut everything you wanted. And they were showing me all their gifts and even more things that they hadn't opened. And I thought, who on earth? I mean, they got dresses, they got shoes, they got, toys that I couldn't even afford if I wanted to. And it was insane. It was a happy insane, but it was beyond. It was just beyond. It was the miracle I was asking for. And I had forgotten how I pled with Heavenly Father, and I asked for the miracle, and I got more than the miracle. I don't know, that person, I just kept looking and seeing someone in the morning, and then waking up and finding this with my children, and the joy they had was beyond expression. So after I opened my presents and there was more, my little son fished out the letter. You just don't know him. He has an incredible heart. He's just so full of life. And he got me an envelope, and in the envelope was a lot of $100 bills. It was more than I could have had for so long. I mean, it was incredible. And the letter, and I got her sit to the side, and the letter that I got, when I opened it, it says, Dear, and Grandma's name. This letter said, I know you don't believe in me. Oh, I know you don't believe I truly exist. But your tears, your great love for your children, and your deep faith called me forth in your time of need. I am not a myth, for I truly exist. All who doubt cannot see me. Only those with great faith. I am Santa. I am Santa Claus. I am also the spirit of Christmas. Although this is a pagan holiday, it brings great joy to heaven to see how the godly attributes of giving, not receiving, serving, giving hope, forgiving, gathering of families with or without, every soul has eternal value. God heard your prayers of faith and sent me. I am not a myth. I exist. I am Santa Claus. Now wash those tears away and rejoice with your choice little ones. And he signed it, Santa. And this letter was given to me, and I will show that to you. This is so a moving situation. I have never been able to sometimes explain and express how incredible this miracle was, and it's truly a miracle, and I'm glad I was able to tell it. And I want each of you, I love each of you, and someday I hope I can put my arms around all of you and give you the hug you need to sustain you, to know you're loved and you're accepted and that you matter. You really do. Even in the dark days, and I have some too. I have many dark days. I have happy days. But I know Santa lives. I know he does. And I saw him dragging so much of that across the way. I know it was heavy. But through his magic, he filled our house with presents. And I love him. I know he lives. And the one thing that I wrote here, I said, if you can look at this, Jesus Christ and Santa Claus are two of the holy ones. I know this to be true. They have cared for me. They have healed me. They have watched over me when I've been through some of the things you will never know, the things I have gone through in my life. But I really, this is supposed to be a happy ending, but I'm crying as normal. But it was a really happy ending, and all I could do. And after we got all those things, we prayed. We all knelt and prayed and had a wonderful. We had ham, we had turkey, we had everything we needed. And it took care of us. So don't lose faith. I know if you muster all the faith in your heart and recognize that Christ does live, and that Santa too does live, that you will experience miracles. And it's believing in something you can't see. And though I can't see Santa or Jesus, I know they exist. And I look forward whenever, in the end, that I will be able to see them. So these are the happy, this is the Christmas story. And it is true. My children know. And what we experienced was magical. It was, I can't even speak what it was, but a miracle. So Grandma loves you, and I'm sorry Grandma gets emotional, but I want you to have a wonderful Merry Christmas. And if you're alone, like I said, just have a happy thought and pray for what you have and thank Jesus and Heavenly Father, for all you have, and even Santa. He might surprise you and bring something to you. So, enough said. Grandma, here is Merry Christmas from Navajo Grandma, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. And I want you to make sure you write those questions to me, because we are going to go live. I told you about the first week of the new year. Okay? I love you. Hugs and kisses and big fat hugs. I love you so. And this is it. Hug on it.